Hey, everybody, welcome back to the Benefits Cooldown. I'm Eric Silverman. That is still my friend from the West Coast, Ed Legande. Ed, you and I had an interesting conversation a few days ago about a client that we're trying to help. Can you kind of set the stage a little bit and maybe I can shed some insight?
Absolutely. Came across a wonderful opportunity. It's a great HR team, a great organization where they're looking to basically create their ideal experience and wanting to see if that was even feasible, right? And so they approached you and I, and in looking at that, the fortunate thing is they can, right? We found a pretty significant amount of savings to walk away from their current kind of setup, and kind of stock setup, if that makes sense, or off the shelf setup to more of a custom arrangement. And we're looking at the tune of anywhere from $250,000 to $500,000 in potential savings, right? And so, while it's easy to take that savings and, maybe you could pass some of it on to the employees and such, and one of the easiest ways is just to give them a soft landing. But I wanted to talk to you a little bit about, expand on our conversation a couple of days ago. How do you think we can kind of reposition some of those savings, or maybe even just the story in and of itself,
Sure.
whenever an employer walks out of a situation like that?
Well, there's a lot to unpack here, but real quick, I mean, bottom line, why do employers of any size, in any shape, in any industry, why do you do benefits? Well, bottom line, you know that if you don't offer any type of benefits, let alone even help fund some of the benefits, you know that you're going to have a mass exodus. You're going to have a revolt on your hands. People will throw their hands up and they're going to throw in the towel and be done with your company. So the bottom line is, nobody starts a business for the most part. I've never seen a business start where they go out and get a loan and put a truck on the road if they're a plumbing company and say, well, I'm a good plumber, but I love and care about my employees, and I want to do benefits for my whole life. So I want to learn about benefits and pay for benefits. That's not why you started a plumbing company if it's a plumbing company. So benefits are a byproduct of growth. You have to have benefits to attract and retain talent. And in our situation, we happen upon an incredible opportunity where, as you said, they're overspending. They have, in what I would call, and I don't know if you would agree, but I'll say it, I believe they have a very boilerplate status quo benefit package from top down, from medical to dental to vision to any other benefit in between. And what it looks like on the surface, and I think the team even agrees because we've talked to them, is that the company they had working with them that was representing them, it was really more them just checking a box, right? Well, you're supposed to offer disability, check a box. Well, we're supposed to offer life, check a box. And if you look at it, the plans themselves are so poorly designed and so lack of thought put into it that if anybody, God forbid, ever needs to go make a claim, they're going to be in for a rude awakening. So when we look at a potential opportunity where we have a client that can save $250,000 to even $500,000 a year or more, the question I would always ask an employer, and we do ask this, is, you're a growing, successful company. You're currently in hiring mode. You're not laying off. You're not downsizing. You didn't do that during the pandemic either. Is $250,000 to $500,000 a lot of money? Could you pocket it and add it right to your bottom line? Yeah, sure, for sure, absolutely. Keep the same status quo benefits and just switch to a different carrier or a different platform. But oftentimes, in fact, I'd say 99% of the time, the employer isn't actually, it's going to sound crazy, a lot of employers aren't interested in the extra 20, 30, 50, 100, 250,000 a year to save. They have no problem taking that money and doubling downing. Is that a word? Doubling down. There you go. Doubling down on their employees, right? Reinvesting in the corporate culture, using that money to and they do anything they want. But a lot of times they just use that money to reinvest and increase their benefit package and make it richer and stronger and more well-rounded. And frankly, a lot of times they still have a cushion where they can take a little bit out. If you're in the casino, take a little off the top, right, and put it in your pocket. They can still do that. We've done that many times, and that's the key, because think about it. As an employer, do they want to spend $250,000 to $500,000 a year on fees, administrative related fees, technology fees? Or if they're going to spend that money, they've already budgeted for it, for heaven's sakes. Why not just use the money to reinvest in your growth and your employees? Talk about a culture boom. Talk about a mic drop when the employees realize that you're going to reinvest and increase the benefit package. So appreciate it, man. I'm excited to continue this journey, not only with you, but most certainly with this opportunity that has presented itself. And stay tuned. Maybe that'll be a future episode when it gets all finalized. We can even talk about it in more detail. So for everybody behind the scenes for Ed and I, because we just show up and talk and somebody else puts it together. I'm still Eric. That's still Ed. And if you have questions, thoughts, ideas, please drop them in the comments below. And we'll see you next week. Thanks, everybody.